Hi everybody, my name is Braylon Rising. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a hopefully longer case. I have about 16 pages of notes, but I hope you all are doing well and staying safe out there, and also staying home because this shit needs to be over with because I am so fucking over it. And obviously it's been like a week or two since my last video. You already know the drill with that, the freaking puppy. I just put her to bed and it is like 9 a.m. and I'm ready to get this video filmed, okay? I'm on a grind today. I feel like I'm on a grind, so be proud of me. Anyways, I'm super excited about the case that I am covering today. It is a more well-known case and it is still ongoing. A lot of YouTubers have covered this case, and probably a lot of you have heard of this, probably most of you, but I really want my channel to be content that I want to put out, and this is a case that I really want to cover on my channel because it is just one of the most interesting, most bizarre cases I've ever heard of, and I just want answers. Like, there's so many questions I have and zero answers. I'm very excited to share this case with you. Mind you, there are tons of names in this case, so why don't you grab a snack, grab a notepad, and freaking sit down and watch this damn video and take it all in with me and form your own opinions, form your own theories, and let's just all share them together down in the comments below because I'm very curious. I want to remind everybody that I do not mean any harm to the families or victims that I am talking about today in this video. Without further ado, let's jump into the ongoing case of Lori Vallow and her missing kids Jj and Tylee. The religion aspects that I'm going to be talking about in this video or covering is a little bit irrational coming from Lori's side and very radical, so don't take any offense to what I'm saying. I'm not talking down on Mormon, their religion, or anything. This is Lori Vallow and her own perception, okay? So let's get that covered right now, right here. Lori Vallow actually had two kids. One was named Joshua Jackson, otherwise known as JJ, who was 7 years old and was adopted by Lori and her ex-husband Charles. He was said to have an amazing memory and just be such a smart, remarkable kid. He was actually diagnosed with autism, but that did not stop him from doing anything. His grandmother and grandfather both said that he was reading big kid books at 3 and was just doing amazing and excelling. JJ had an older sister who was not his biological sister. She was Lori's actual kid from a previous marriage, and her name was Tylee, and she was 17 years old at this time. She was described as being witty, spunky, and fun, and had a lot of friends, very popular girl, and she and JJ were very close. The family was well loved by people and were said to be outgoing, friendly, and loving people who were always happy to help anybody that needed it. Now, who's Lori Vallow? Lori Vallow is 48 years old and, like I said, was a Mormon and a big part of the LDS community. She was actually married 5 times, her first marriage being back in 1992, and this ended pretty quickly. Her second marriage was in 1995 to a guy named William, and they actually had a kid named Colby. But again, this marriage ended pretty quickly after that too. Then in 2001, Lori married a man named Joseph Ryan. This was her third husband, and this is when Tylee came to be. That was her biological father. But in 2004, the marriage ended again, but in 2006, Lori married her fourth husband named Charles Vallow. Charles is known as a nice guy, very successful businessman, and he was actually Catholic at the time that him and Lori had met and married, but he eventually converted over to the LDS community as well. In 2014, Lori and Charles were living in Chandler, Arizona at the time, but they actually decided towards the end of 2014 to pack their belongings and their kids up and move to Hawaii. And I'm pretty sure it was Kauai to be exact. And this is where they opened their own juice smoothie bar kind of thing. And it actually was going very well. And everybody seemed happy with this move. The kids were happy. The family was happy. And they were enjoying it. Lori even flew out one of Tylee's friends so that Tylee didn't have to be lonely for the summer, and they enjoyed it a lot. And Tylee's friend even said that Lori Vallow was a great person, and she even called her mom at times. People said they all seemed happy and were all getting along, and that everything seemed just right. But soon, Lori met a writer named Chad Daybell, and Chad is a very interesting character, if I do say so the least. Chad Daybell was most known for his series Standing in Holy Places, and this was a series of about 5 books that just talked about how shitty the world is and how one day there would be a doomsday where everybody would suffer for what they have done here on Earth, and that the LDS community would be the ones that would have to fix it. Kind of ironic that everyone thought, or they thought, that the world was going to end, and here we are in 2020 with this pandemic where it seems like the world's ending. Maybe they were a little right. He took things to an extreme with this belief and was very radical and irrational. And at this time, he was actually married to a woman named Tammy, and they had 5 kids together in Utah. They also owned a small book publishing company that was called Spring Creek Book Company. And it was just a small little company. They were doing pretty good on this. Not only that, but Chad was also featured on a couple episodes of a podcast called Preparing the People. And again, this was a doomsday podcast where everyone would just come on and talk about how the world was going to end and their specific beliefs on what was going to happen. Since this case happening, all of the episodes that Chad was on have since been deleted. Chad claimed he had psychic abilities to talk to higher power and such, and that he had gotten visions of the future and what was going to happen. And he also claimed that this world ending would not be good for the non-religious folks, and that they're gonna be fucked. He also said that the world was going to end in July 2020, to be exact. And the way it's freaking looking, I couldn't disagree. I don't know. In June of 2015, Chad and Tammy purchased a home in Salem, Idaho. Reason being because Chad said that he had a vision that they had to move there, so obviously they had to pack up their bags and move there since he had a vision. But moving forward to 2017, Lori and Charles decided that they were going to move back to Chandler, Arizona as well. Fast forwarding again to April 3rd, 2018 is when Lori Vallow's third husband, Joseph Ryan, randomly dies of a heart attack. Going again on to December 5th, 2018 is when Chad and Lori actually meet for the first time on the Preparing a People podcast, and she actually featured on this podcast a couple times. Her beliefs were becoming more radical and out there, and you could just see her character just slowly going down. It seemed that Lori and Chad had a lot of common. Now, fast forwarding to February of 2018, Charles actually files for divorce from Lori, and we're not for sure the reason being, but we do believe that this is just because Lori was becoming more and more radical with her beliefs. She actually was claiming to be God at this time, and actually had stolen $30,000 from Charles' bank account, which is not cool. And not only that, she was fucking threatening to kill him. Now at this time, Lori actually, for unknown reasons, if this was because Charles was filing for divorce, who knows, but she actually disappears for not 1 week, not 2 weeks, but for 58 days, bitch. For a month and a half, 2 months, whatever. For 58 fucking days. She left behind her 2 kids and her husband and left for 58 days. And nobody knows what she was doing. So for all we know, she could have been freaking tripping acid and making this belief in her head more and more real to herself. We don't know. Charles claimed to have no idea where his wife went, but she for some reason came back, and also for some reason when she came back for unknown reasons that have not been released at this time, Charles decided to cancel the divorce and decided, hey, let's work on things. You just left for 58 fucking days, but hey, It doesn't matter. I love you. Let's work on this. That's a real man right there. It's a real man, ride or die. Now we need to talk about a girl named Melanie Bardot. Melanie Bardot is the niece of Lori Vallow, and she has the same beliefs as Lori with all of this doomsday stuff, and the world is going to come to an end. And she was actually married at the time to a man named Brandon Bardot, but randomly in June of 2019, she decided to file for divorce. And Brandon had no clue why she was filing for divorce. He said that the marriage was great and that there was no problems, and he did not see this coming at all. He has no clue why she divorced him. Brandon Bardot thinks that possibly Lori could have had something to do with this, and also at the same time, Lori decides, hey, you gave me a second chance, but I'm done with you. I don't feel like working on it no more. So she files for divorce from Charles. Maybe it was just because Charles was filing for divorce from her, and she was like, nah, son, I'm the only one that can file for divorce. That's what I would have done. I'm that petty. So at this point, Lori and her 2 kids, Jj and Tylee, are living alone in a house that is being paid for by Charles, and Charles is living in a separate house by himself. That's being paid for by himself, because he's a real one. There are way more names coming your way, y'all, so please pay attention. It was July of 2019, and Charles went to Lori Vallow's house to go pick up their son, JJ. It was his week to spend time with him. So he went to go pick him up, and apparently a fight broke out between Lori and Charles, and shit just got real fast. Also, apparently at this time, JJ was waiting in the car for his father, and while this fight was going on, it seemed to have been getting so heated that Tylee suddenly grabbed a metal bat and was threatening to use it on Charles because she was trying to protect her mom. And Charles apparently took this metal bat from Tylee and started threatening Alex Cox, Lori Vallow's brother, with it. And this is when Alex Cox ran to his room, grabbed a gun, came out, and shot Charles dead in their home.
911, where is your emergency?
It's at 5531 South Four Peaks. I think it's Four Peaks Lane, I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, you say you don't know the direction?
I don't know the street name, if it's a lane or court.
It's 5531 East, though?
Yeah, or South? South Four Peaks?
5531 South Four Peaks in Chandler. Is that right?
Yes.
You need
yes.
police or paramedics?
Both. I'm in police and an ambulance.
What's the emergency there?
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law, and I shot him in self-defense.
Okay, let me get the medics on the phone. And is he hurt, or is he alive, or?
Yeah, there's blood. He's not moving.
How long ago did this happen?
A couple of minutes.
Fire department, what is the address of the emergency?
5531 South Four Peaks.
And is that a house in Chandler?
Yes.
And your phone number, please?
480-351-9120.
And just repeat the address to confirm it.
5531 South Four Peaks.
And what is the emergency?
I shot my brother-in-law.
Okay, what part of his body is injured?
In the chest.
I'm sorry, where?
In the chest.
Okay, is he awake and responsive or unconscious?
Unconscious.
Okay, is he breathing?
I can't tell.
Okay, are you willing to go over to him and check?
Sure.
Okay, do you just let me know if you see his chest going up and down? How old is he?
It's not moving. He's 60.
Okay, and are you wanting to start CPR?
No, I don't know how to do that.
I can walk you through it.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is you're going to put one hand in the center of his chest.
Yeah.
The other hand's going to go right on top of it.
Okay.
You're going to interlock your fingers, keeping your arms straight, and you're going to press down hard and fast into his chest. You're going to go 2 inches down and fairly quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, making sure his chest goes up between each compression. Where's the gun now?
It's in the other room.
Okay. PD, we're going to stage for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just keep going with those compressions. PD, did you have any other questions?
Yes, what's your name, sir?
My name is Alex. Last name is Cox, C-O-X.
And where are you in the house now?
In the living room.
And where is the gun?
It's in the bedroom.
Who else is there in the house with you?
Just me.
What gun is it? Was it
It's my gun. It's a .45.
a pistol? 45 caliber pistol?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name, your brother-in-law?
Charles Vallow.
His last name, I'm sorry?
V-A-L-L-O. Vallow.
V like Victor or G like George?
V like Victor.
Okay. Well, police and medics are on the way to help you.
No one was in the house at the time that Alex had called the police. It seemed that Lori had taken JJ to school, all casual and shit. I don't know where Tylee was. I'm guessing she was also with Lori. There's not a lot of information on this. Alex claimed that he shot Charles in self-defense, and surprisingly, police fucking believed him. They barely looked into this at all. You would also think police would be slightly suspicious of this whole situation, considering that Lori and Charles were fresh out of divorce. I mean, this just makes no sense. Now, the craziest thing about this all is that the same night that Alex Cox shot Lori Vallow's ex-husband and killed him in the same house, they decided to throw a fucking pool party the same night. Neighbors were reporting loud music and what seemed like a celebration happening. I don't care if it was somebody you hated, okay? If you accidentally ran somebody over, or I don't know, if a murderer came in my house and I killed him, okay, I would not even stay in the same damn house for like 2 weeks. Now, if you thought that was bad, wait till you hear how Lori let Charles' other 2 sons know what happened to their dad. I'm gonna read it to you, and you're gonna love it. Hi, boys. I have very sad news. Your dad passed away yesterday. I'm working on making arrangements, and I'll keep you informed of what's going on. I'm still not sure on how to handle things. Just want you to know I love you, and so did your dad. I mean, seriously, could you imagine getting a text from your fucking stepmother that your father just died and it's in a complete whole different state, and she texted you it and barely even gave any explanation of what happened to your father? I mean, I literally feel for these kids, because I could just feel in my stomach just like thinking about that with my mother. So the boys respond, Lori, what happened? Where is he and what happened? I'll call you when I can, bub. He's here in Arizona. Where in Arizona? When did all this happen? How is JJ doing? What funeral home is he at? Lori, what the fuck happened? You can't just tell us our dad died and disappear. You're not too busy to just let us know he died and disappeared. Lori, it's been 3 hours. You're not that busy. I don't care what you're doing. I'm sorry you are so upset. I'm so upset too. I'm trying to get JJ ready for bed. I'm waiting to hear back from the medical examiner to make sense out of all this myself. Please be patient with me. It's a crushing situation all the way around. I'm still trying to process it too, and what it means for JJ. When and where is the funeral? How did all this happen? I want an explanation. Question mark. Question mark. Lori responds, I'm still waiting, working arrangements and sorting things out best I can. I'll let you know when I know. Why aren't you telling me what happened? I've asked numerous times. Just tell me. Question mark. Question mark. Okay, Lori, it's been 3 days. You let us know our father passed away over a text message. 3 days and we haven't heard from anybody. The only information we have is that one text from you saying he passed away. You disappeared after that. We need an information you have. What happened? When did it happen? How did it happen? Where is he now? He was our dad and we loved him very much. We deserve answers. Also, why have you been the only one to contact us? We haven't heard from Colby or Tylee. I know they're affected too. I called Colby recently too, but he didn't answer. Is JJ safe? And what does he know? I need to be kept in the loop about this all. This isn't a nonchalant topic you can just throw at a text and be done with. These are your dad's wishes. He and I discussed this a lot over the years we have been together. My plan is to have him cremated, as he wished, and then take all of you 5 kids to Hawaii to spread his ashes. He did not want a funeral. He wanted a celebration of his life. I've been overwhelmed, but I'm going to start making these arrangements today. JJ is doing good, but he does not know his daddy is gone. It's so tough because he really doesn't understand. He says daddy is in California working. I know how much he loves you boys and always has. I have a lot to do with the business and contacting people, and it's all so difficult. Today I'm trying to put a memorial page on his funeral home website. I'll send you the link when I have it. I love you, and so does your dad. I appreciate this information, but I will ask these questions again because I still haven't gotten an answer. What happened? When did it happen? How did it happen? Where is he now? Is there a funeral? When is it? Who have you told about his death? Give me all the info you have, please. My brother and I deserve to know. To which she just never replied, and they ended up texting her again. Well, if you want to answer those questions, can we please have his watches and other stuff he always talked about and had around? And she whacks all of his questions out of the way and just answers that one motherfucking question. Of course! Send me the address you want me to send your stuff to. Kay is supposed to clean out the Houston house. I told her to let you and blank have whatever you want first. Then she could give the have or give away the rest. I know he wanted you to have all that you want. And that's all we have from that text convo. Another weird thing that happened is that JJ actually had a service dog at the time named Bailey, and out of nowhere, Lori decides to call the people that gave the service dog to her and said that she wanted to give it back because her husband just died and things were too crazy right now. But why would you ever give a service dog back? I mean, it was reported that JJ and the service dog got along well great and that he loved having the service dog around. And if you know service dogs, they are not high maintenance at all. They are the opposite. They eat, sleep, poop, pee, and do their fucking job, okay? When all other dogs do whatever the fuck they want, service dogs are one of the most well-behaved. They're just not hard to take care of, so I don't understand why she would ever give the service dog back if it was helping her son, and especially in a time like this when your son's father just died, you would think he would need that little extra support. Then on August 10th, 2019, JJ spoke to his grandmother, Kay, on FaceTime. They spoke briefly, it wasn't for that long, but they did this kind of frequently, and they were super close to each other. His grandparents loved that kid with all their heart. And this was sadly and unknowingly to the grandmother the last time she would talk to JJ. Then in the following weeks after this FaceTime call, Lori, Tylee, JJ, as well as Lori's brother Alex and Lori's niece Melanie all packed up and moved to Rexburg, Idaho. Now, if you remember, Rexburg is close to Salem, and I mentioned earlier that Salem, Idaho is where Chad Daybell, as well as his wife Tammy, were living at the time. Now, I guess Rexburg is a huge Mormon community. Statistically, about 95% of it is Mormon. What's weird is that they all moved into the same apartment complex, but separate apartments. So they were all living in the same apartment complex, community, whatever you want to call it, but in separate apartments. Now, neighbors were reported to have seen Jj and Tylee playing at the time, and some of them were playing with the neighbor kids. So we do know for sure at this time that Jj and Tylee were with them here in Rexburg, Idaho. Then on September 8th, Lori and JJ and Tylee all went to Yellowstone National Park, and there was actually pictures of Tylee and JJ at Yellowstone National Park, and this was reported the last time anyone had seen Tylee. People came up with theories that possibly there was a doomsday bunker somewhere close to here and that Tylee was just hiding out there, possibly because her mother made her hide there since the world's coming to an end soon. Anyways, but this is just a theory. Then on September 17th, JJ was seen on a neighbor's Ring doorbell camera. Then on September 23rd is the last time that officially anybody has ever seen JJ. The following day, September 24th, Lori actually went to JJ's school and unenrolled him and claimed that she was going to start homeschooling him. And obviously the people in the office thought this was a little strange, but homeschooling is not illegal, so there is nothing that they could do. At this time, it was also found that Tylee was already unenrolled from school, and Lori claimed that she had already graduated. But there's actually no proof of Tylee actually graduating early. And October 1st, 2019, there was surveillance footage of Lori Vallow and another man at a self-storage unit that she had gotten for herself. And a lot of people thought at first that the man in the video was Alex Cox, but as it is coming to light now, a lot of people are changing the theory and think it's actually Chad Daybell that was featured in the security footage. So now on October 2nd, Brandon Bardot, who is Lori Vallow's niece's ex-husband, who she, as I said, divorced abruptly for no seemingly reason, he was actually on his way home from the gym when his window was shattered and shot with what he thought at first was a paintball gun. He said it missed his head by inches and just completely shattered his window. And when he went to look at who was shooting at him, he saw a Jeep, and not any Jeep, but Charles Vallow's Jeep. And Charles Vallow is the same man who was murdered by Alex Cox, Lori Vallow's brother. So who was in his Jeep and driving it around? And also, why was he coming after Brandon? As you see during this story, there's a lot of connections that we can't make, but there's this little thing going on, like with the husbands and getting married fast and the wives. You'll just see this whole, I don't want to say trickle effect, but just, what's the word? Similarities. You'll see tons of similarities with what's going on here. At first, Brandon thought that possibly Alex was the one in Charles Vallow's Jeep, but this is at the time when the security footage of Lori Vallow at the storage unit had come to light with that man, and at the time Alex was claiming to be the man in the security footage. So this was instantly rolled out. But about a week later, on October 9th, Tammy, who, as I said earlier, Chad Daybell's wife, who they had 5 kids together and they were living in Salem, Idaho, was actually unloading groceries from the driveway of her home when a masked man came up to her and started shooting her with, again, what she thought was a paintball gun. She screamed for Chad to come out and help her, and that made the masked man run away. She instantly, after this had happened, reported the incident to police. Then on the next day, October 10th, a random Venmo payment came from Tylee's phone to Colby, who, again, they're biologically related, but they're not full siblings. They're half because they both have different dads. And they have the same mom, who's Lori Vallow. If you don't know what Venmo is, it is an app where you can send money to people, and you can write a little message when you send money to people. And the message said on this money message said, "We love you," from Tylee. Tylee was missing at this time. Well, she had not been seen for a long time at this time. So it is unknown who sent this Venmo payment. But 6 days later, another Venmo payment was sent. It was October 16th, and this Venmo payment just had the message of a red heart emoji. And again, it was to Colby from Tylee. I don't know a lot about this Venmo payment. I'm surprised that Colby hasn't come forward and said what has happened. It'd be kind of weird if I randomly got money from my sister. So now on October 19th, Tammy, Chad's wife, randomly dies in her sleep. Chad said that the night before she was coughing before she went to bed, but she was in her 40s, and even family members said that the last time that they had seen her, she was running around. She seemed to have a lot of energy. She was exercising. This just didn't seem right to them that she had randomly died in her 40s in her sleep. And Chad came forward and said that he saw this happen. He had a vision of this happening. He saw his wife dying, which who just even says that? That's just wrong. Her family decided to ultimately not have an autopsy done on her and eventually just buried her. And Chad actually got a fat check from the life insurance policy, $430,000 to be exact. And police again was just like, okay, that's what it is. A couple days later, on October 25th, one of Tylee's friends had gotten a response from Tylee from a text that they had sent 6 days before, and now Tylee was randomly responding now, and she had said back, "Hi, miss you guys too. Love ya." This took 6 days for Tylee to respond to this message that the friend had sent earlier from before, and the friend even said that it didn't even seem like Tylee had wrote this response. Friend said that she had spelled things out completely different, and it was just out of character, not only for the way she was talking, but for her to not have responded right away to a text, and took 6 days to respond. 2 weeks after Tammy had died, Chad and Lori, newly single, widows. I don't know if a widow is the right term. I'm pretty sure that's only if your husband dies, but I'm gonna use it anyways. Widows come together and they marry each other. 2 weeks after meeting, they marry each other, embrace this new life that they probably saw coming, especially Chad. He probably saw this all coming. And Chad's family actually came forward and said that they were under the impression of when they met Lori that she had no kids and was never married before, and that her kids actually died in 2017. At this time, JJ's grandparents are growing increasingly worried since the last time they had talked to their grandchild was back in August on that FaceTime call. And Lori had cut off all communication with them, so they did not know what was going on at all. They just wanted to talk to their grandchild. And so on November 26, 2019, they decided that they were going to call the police and file JJ as missing, as well as Tylee. I'm pretty sure they did Tylee too. And this is suddenly when the police finally became involved in finding these children. And it's like props to the damn grandparents, because finally somebody fucking does something. I was about to lose my mind. Now police go to Chad's apartment and they knock on his door and they're like, "Where's Lori?" You know, like, where can we find her? And Chad claims that he doesn't even fucking know Lori. Now when police asked for Lori's number, Chad was like, "Yeah, sorry, I don't have it because I don't even fucking know her. So, sorry." And when police questioned Alex, Alex was like, "Yeah, the kids are staying with their grandparents in Louisiana." But police shut that shit down real quick because they were like, "Yo, you think you're funny, but we actually are here because the grandparents called and filed their grandchildren as missing." So police obviously couldn't do anything, so they left feeling off. They knew something was going on here. And some shit came to light that just made them look the more suspicious. So Chad, you know, claiming to not know Lori at all. Yeah, okay. Well, it came out October 2nd, when Tammy was still alive. They were searching for wedding dresses. And it also came out that 2 weeks before Tammy had died is when Lori's wedding ring was purchased. So, you sure you don't know her, Chad? You sure? So soon, police were finally able to get in touch with Lori once she finally had taken her time to think of the perfect lie. And this was when Lori told them that JJ was actually staying with a friend in Gilbert, Arizona. Now, when this friend was contacted, this friend said that she hadn't seen JJ in years. She had not seen him in years, and that he was definitely not with her, so. I mean, she could have spent a little more time on that. Police are growing more and more concerned. The stories are not matching up, so they, again, the next day, November 27th, decide to head out to Lori and Chad's and try again, but this time with a search warrant. They wanted to search their whole apartment, and when they knocked on their door, they had found out that Chad and Lori had gotten the fuck up out of there and fucking booted their ass all the way to Hawaii. That's right, y'all. That's right. A few days later, October 29th, Alex Cox ends up marrying a woman named Zulema. Another marriage. Do you guys see this little thing going on? Zulema was very similar to Lori with believing all this doomsday stuff though, but that's not it. Melanie, a few days later, meets a guy and decides to marry him as well, and his name is Ian Poloski. Police were able to confirm by flight records that Jj and Tylee were not with Chad and Lori when they went to Hawaii. And a few days later, it came out that the same friend that was said to be with Jj by Lori actually called again and said that Lori had called her and told her to lie to police, saying that Jj was with her. They started going back to Tammy, and they just thought that was the most suspicious death of them all, and so they decided to have her body exhumed so that they could perform an actual autopsy, since, like I had said, her family did not perform an autopsy on her. So her body was exhumed, and these autopsy results are still not released and could take up to a year to be done. So we're waiting on those, but I think we both know what they're gonna find. They also found Joseph Ryan, who was Lori's third husband, who also had seemingly died from a heart attack. They thought his death was also pretty suspicious, but they could not have his body exhumed or anything because he was cremated. Police kept a close eye on Chad and Lori while this was all going on, and on December 12th, Alex Cox was actually found unresponsive on his apartment floor in Arizona. Him and his wife Zulema had literally been together for a freaking week, y'all. He is also getting autopsy results, but again, this could not come out for another year, so who knows? Let's see what happens there. Finally, on December 20th, police make a formal public announcement to the community about the two missing children, finally announcing it to the whole world that these children are missing and to keep an eye out for them. And then on January 3rd, 2020, police obtained a search warrant for the house that Chad and Tammy lived in, and they searched that. They obtained hundreds of items, and we'll see what will come of that very soon, hopefully. And then on January 7th, JJ's grandparents came and held a live press conference where they showed that they were giving a reward for $20,000 for any information on the whereabouts of their missing grandkids. A few weeks later, police went and served Chad and Lori with a court order that made Lori have to appear in court and prove with physical evidence that her kids were both alive and well. And the next day, on January 26th, police had seized the rental car of Chad and Lori, and had actually found the birth certificates of Jj and Tylee inside. They also found Jj's school registration as well as his iPad and Tylee's debit card. And when they went and looked at Tylee's debit card, they found that there was many transactions from September 8th when she was last seen. So who was using her debit card? Police had also searched Chad and Lori's apartment, and when they searched it, they could not find one item that looked like a kid had been there. It just didn't have any toys, nothing. It didn't look like a kid would even live there at all. Police believe that Tylee and JJ were never even in this apartment, and it was also found that JJ had a specific medication that he had to be on and had to take every single day. And this medication had not been filled for 9 months. And when Lori went to court, she of course failed to bring the kids, so there was no proving they're alive and well there. Soon, a journalist actually went to the same storage unit that Lori was captured on security footage going to with an unknown or an unnamed man, and she found that at the storage unit it was unpaid and abandoned, so they had free range to go look inside of it. And one look inside of it, they found a bunch of toys and stuff that all belonged to Jj and Tylee, as well as clothes, pictures. It was very odd that this was all stored in a storage unit, unless they just weren't here anymore. Finally, on February 20th, police had enough evidence to finally arrest Lori, and she was held on a $5 million bond. And I'm guessing this is just because they didn't want to be a flight risk. I mean, she obviously had already run once to Hawaii, so who knows where she could run next. She's currently being charged with 2 counts of dissertation and non-support of dependent children, resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. Her whole attitude this whole time was completely chill. She doesn't seem to be in remorse of her missing kids, that she has no way of proving they're alive or anything, or that they're well. She doesn't care that she's in jail right now. It seems like this whole doomsday has completely fucked their minds. Lori's bail was eventually dropped down to $1 million, and she was extradited from Hawaii back to Rexburg, Arizona. As of right now, we are waiting for the trial hearing, which is in May, and as of now, 2 of the attorneys for Lori have withdrawn from this case, so that's a little awkward. Recently, Ian, Melanie's husband, came forward with a letter, and in this letter he stated that he was told by Melanie, who was told by Chad and Lori, that they had to kill Jj and Tylee because they were possessed by zombies, or they were zombies. They said that Alex did it and that he took care of it, and the scary thing is like, what if they actually believed this because of this whole doomsday thing going on? It really seems to me like these people really believe that this doomsday is happening, and it seems that they don't care about where they are, what they're doing, if they're in jail, if they don't have their kids, if they don't have this person or not, because they think they're just gonna die anyways. I really truly hope that Jj and Tylee are safe somewhere. I really do. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on this case, and I'm sorry again that it has been so long. It's been so long. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the fuck out of this video. Please leave your theories, comments, subscribe, like, whatever. Go check out all my social links also as well down in the description. Everything that you need to know where I got this information will also be down below. And if you haven't, go check out Stephanie Harlow's or Kendall Ray's covering of this case, because it is also super freaking good if you just want to learn more, if you think I didn't share enough. If I got anything wrong or if I shared any misinformation, please let me know nicely down in the comments below. I really appreciate all your guys' nice comments. Please comment more because I love reading them. It makes my heart warm. So stay safe and stay inside. Corona will be over soon. Promise y'all. I will see you all in the next video.